Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right as a creative, as a designer, learning, practicing, showing up, but somehow you just feel like you're stuck? If your answer is yes, I want to tell you that you're not. We got that day. I've been there. My name is Dada Oladimeji, and yeah, I want to welcome you back to Transition with DimGold. And so in this episode, I'm going to be slowing things down a bit, and we're going to be diving deep into quite a lot of things that really matter. I'm going to be answering real questions a lot of creative face and they've been asking me questions about money, growth, consistency, burnout, direction, and then what it means to transition properly as a creative person. I'm just going to be giving you honest answers from my experience and from things I've learned so far in my journey as a creative person. If you are that person that you're feeling confused, tired, and you're not sure what your next step is as a creative person, this episode is actually for you. So let's get into it. Grab everything you can. Trust me, you're going to enjoy this episode. So the first question I'm going to be answering goes like this. Why do most designers stay broke even when they are skilled? Why do most designers stay broke even when they are very good at what they do? The honest thing about this question is the answer is very simple than we all think. The truth about it is your skill alone is not going to pay you. Your income in terms of like the money that comes to you is the product of your skill multiplied by structures you've placed around your skill, your business, or your life, and the mindset, the kind of mindset you uphold, or the kind of mindset you have, and the systems you place around your life. Don't forget what I said. I said your income is a product of not just your skill, but it's a product of your skill multiplied by structures, systems, and mindset, right? Too. But the major problem with creative face is that most of us actually focus on developing our skill, and then we leave the structure, we leave the system, and we leave the mindset part. That's like one of the biggest mistakes you would ever make as a creative person. So let me properly explain this for you. So firstly, a lot of designers treat design as a talent. They feel like this is a talent and not as a business. And they see it as something they are really good at, something they enjoy, and something people should appreciate, applaud. All of these things are good, don't get me wrong. But the issue is we don't see design as a solution. We don't see it as a product, and we don't see it as a business. When you treat your skill like a talent, you would always wait for people to appreciate and applaud. The result of treating your skill as a talent is appreciation and applaud. But when you treat your skill as a business, then you would value it and you will price it. The answer to this question is just that most of us don't treat our skill like a business. And the truth, if you don't treat your skill like a business, you would always struggle no matter what. And another reason is this. Most designers focus on, efforts instead of value. So you price based on how long you work on projects, how stressful the project was, or how hard they work to get the job done. But there is something we need to understand. This is something you have to understand. Most clients don't pay for the effort you put into project. They pay for outcomes. And if you don't clearly explain the problem you are solving or who you are solving it for and what changes because of that your work, you would always undercharge no matter how talented you are. Another reason why designers stay broke is because they lack financial structure. And it's so bad that a lot of designers don't track their income. They don't budget, they don't save, they don't separate their personal money from business money. That's another thing. So money just comes in and go out of the account anyhow. But you know yourself that you can't grow what you don't track. And nobody can build financial stability that way. You can't build financial stability that way. So you have to learn how to budget, you have to learn how to save, you have to learn how to place structures around your finances. Many designers say yes to the wrong clients. And this one, you really need to pay attention to it. There are clients that they will underprice you, they will delay your payment, they will even increase the scope of your project without clearly, properly communicating it to you. And these things slowly drain you mentally. And the truth is, if you don't set boundaries, you will just be busy with work, but you will still be broke. And like I said in one of our past episodes, if you can still remember, I said client management is money management. So you've got to set boundaries as to the kind of client you take. Don't take client that will drain you mentally. It will affect you financially. And finally, a lot of designers have unhealthy relationship with money. This affected me early in my career as a creative person. No, some of us think that wanting to be paid well to do work is greediness. No. And some of us feel like if you charge too high, we would lose opportunities. No, never. And many other people even avoid money conversation. This one, I'm a victim of this. Like when it comes to money, how much are you going to charge? I refuse not to talk because I feel like if I call my price, the person will run away, right? So many people avoid money conversation. But the real truth is most designers are not broke because they lack skill. Yes, we've seen many good designers, but they are still broke. But they are broke because they lack clarity, they lack structure, and they lack the ability to think like a business person. Skill, most times, will only get you noticed. You get people to know that this guy is good, this is good. But structure is what will keep you paid as a creative person. So the next question I'm going to be addressing is, how do you charge confidently when you still feel small or inexperienced? How do I charge confidently when I still feel small or inexperienced? So, firstly, let me say this clearly. So, feeling small is actually like a normal thing. I've felt that way, and the truth is, almost every designer has felt that way at some point. So, if you're feeling like that, like right now, I want you to know that nothing is wrong with you. But the real truth is, confidence in pricing works does not come from feeling big. It doesn't even come from a place of feeling. It comes from understanding the value that you are giving and standing on structures. So you don't have to feel ready to charge well. You don't have to feel like, okay, I think I can charge well. All you just need is clarity, and that's it. Let me now break it down for you properly. The first thing you need to understand is this: you need to separate your skill level from the value you create. When I mean this, the level of your skill. And when I say value, I mean the solution you are providing to a problem. So a lot of people don't realize this, but yes, the truth is you can actually charge well even early in your career, because value does not come from years of experience. I hope you know. It comes from solving a problem, could be maybe saving a client's time or helping a business look more credible, or even helping them communicate better. If your work creates real outcomes, real result, that means it has value, even if you still feel small, as long as there's outcome and there's results to speak for it. The second thing I want you to do is stop pricing yourself. Stop pricing yourself. Start pricing the problem instead. I see many designers ask questions like, what am I worth? Or what's my worth? That's not a good question to ask. That question will make you feel insecure. So the better question you're supposed to ask is, what is this problem worth to the client? That's a good question to ask. So because I said client don't pay for your confidence, no. They pay for clarity, they pay for relief. And I said it the other time, they pay for results. The clients pay for outcomes. And once you focus on the problem instead of how you're feeling about something, charging confidently will just come naturally for you. Another thing you need is structure. You have to structure things like a clear rate card around the service you offer. Clearly define the deliverables, writing proposals, setting clear boundaries, and the likes. So structure will always speak for you, even when your emotion is trying to undercut your value. Another thing I want to state clearly that I want us to note is, please be honest, but don't be cheap. So it's okay to say things like, this is my current rates based on my experience and the scope of this project. But what is not okay is slashing your price out of fear. Underpricing because you are scared would slow your growth faster than you even being inexperienced. That's the truth. Another important thing is you have to build confidence from your track record. So, because one thing I know is confidence grows from evidence. It's cool that you track the project that you've completed, the problems you've solved, the feedbacks you've received, and even the outcome of what your project looks like. And anytime doubt shows up, you can go back and look at this proof of your work. Like, I'm good now. I did this, so I can charge this. One thing I also want you to remember is confidence is not necessarily a personality trait. It's a skill that you learn. I mean, you charge, you deliver, you learn, and you adjust, and you repeat it. Because that's the cycle that builds confidence. So if you forget everything else I've said in answering this question, remember this one thing. Note that you don't charge confidently because you are experienced. No, confidence does not come from the place of experience. You charge confidently because you respect the value you are offering. You feeling small is not what disqualifies you. It's thinking small that disqualifies you. So let's move to the next question, which is, how do you know if design is really for you or if you're just forcing it? A lot of people ask me this question, and honestly, I've asked myself this same question before. And how do I know if design is really for me or if I'm just forcing it? The first thing I want to clear is this. You struggling does not necessarily mean you're on the wrong path. See, design is hard though. thinking thinking is hard, and even problem solving is hard. Difficulty alone is not a sign to quit. For me as a person, the real question is this: do I actually enjoy the process, or do I just like the idea of being a designer? Because it's easy to love the title of being a designer, actually, and it's easy to love aesthetics, the praises, and the lifestyle we imagine. But design in reality is a lot of sitting down, thinking, fixing things that doesn't work. It's a lot of work. receiving feedback, going back and forth. So design is thinking long even before having to do the visuals. Another thing I noticed is curiosity. So even when I was tired, even when I felt stuck, I was still curious. I still wanted to understand how some things work and why some things does not work and how I could do it better next time. So if difficult things or difficulty completely kills your curiosity, then that's something you need to pay attention to. But if it stretches you or still keeps you interested, then that's always usually like a good sign that okay, I think I need to keep doing. Then there is this part we don't really talk about enough, and it's a question of are you just in love with design or you just love the tools? You just love using Adobe Photoshop. Softwares would always frustrate you, and new softwares will always come into play. I mean, trends will come and go. I mean, there are a lot of design styles out there. So many things around design. So many things come. But if what excites you is solving problems, bringing clarity, helping people to communicate better, you would always find your way back, no matter how far, no matter how much you want to give up. Another thing that has even helped me personally is paying attention to what happens when I want to quit those times. Everyone wants to quit something, and I notice something. Anytime I step away from design, I just lose my peace. I feel restless, and I find myself always coming back, easily. Not because anybody even forced me to, but because there's something inside me that keeps pulling me back. This is your thing. This is your calling. You've got to do this. That in itself is what I call alignment. Though the problem is not even design itself. So sometimes it's how you are learning. Being stuck in the beginner's loop or learning without structure or having no guidance can make you feel like you choose the wrong thing. So when in reality you just need better system. So and lastly, let's just be honest. Fear can also play a big role in this thing. So a lot of times when we say maybe design is not for me, actually what we really mean those times is I'm scared of failing or I'm tired of comparing myself and I don't feel good enough. So fear has a way of sounding like wisdom sometimes. So before you quit, ask yourself questions. So ask questions like, is this clarity or is this fear? Here is one thing I've learned in my years of experience working as a creative person. The truth is, you don't figure out if design is for you by how easy it feels. You figure it out by how you respond when things get really hard. So many a times forcing would feel empty and draining, but alignment used to feel challenging, but it's meaningful. So instead of asking is design for me, you try asking yourself, am I willing to do the kind of thinking and problem solving that design requires? That question most times is the truth. The next question I want to answer is this: should a designer specialize early or try everything first? Oh, this one is a very, 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 very important question that you must understand. So the thing is, a lot of people ask me this question and they will ask like, should I specialize or should I just do all the kind of design? And honestly, it's it's not a question of one or the other. When you're starting out, trying different things, trying a lot of things is not bad. It actually helps you to understand what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, and the kind of problem you like solving. That stage is a very important stage of your life as a creative person. The main issue is when people rush to specialize too early, not because they are ready, but because something is trending or they hear that that thing pays a lot. Right? That was the time of UI UX. But at the end of the day, most of them they end up stopped and they end up doing work that they don't even like in the first place. So yes, try different things at the beginning, but don't just be doing everything anyhow. If you try everything without direction, you will end up being average at many things and not strong at one thing, not a master at one thing. And people will not really understand what you do actually. So at some point, you need to pick a direction, especially if you want to grow and charge better and you want to be known for something. So clients most times they don't pay for someone that can do everything. They look for someone that can solve a specific problem well. And also, specialization is not about saying I'm a UI designer or I'm a brand designer or I'm a product designer. It's more about the kind of problem you enjoy solving and the kind of clients you want to attract to yourself. So here's one thing me I've learned. It's cool to start by exploring plenty of things, but ensure that you do it with sense. So and then pay attention to what keeps pulling you back, what keeps drawing your attention, and notice what drains you. What is that thing that drains you the most? Then pick a direction and go deeper, dive deep. So if you are early in your career, it's cool. Explore as many things you can explore. But if you are growing, if you're already growing yourself, so just pick something and focus. Do you understand? Pick something and focus. Exploration help you find your path. Specialization is what help you grow. And you note that you don't rush into specialization. You grow yourself into it. The next question goes like this: why does it feel like you are learning but you are not actually improving. So many designers used to say this thing that I feel like I'm learning, but I'm not really improving. And the truth about this is the feeling is a very common feeling. So most times it doesn't even mean that you are lazy, and it doesn't mean that you are not serious. It usually mean that you are learning, but the learning is not changing anything yet. And so let me explain. Now, first thing, a lot of people are consuming more than they are applying, and you're watching YouTube tutorials, you're saving posts, you're buying courses, you're doing a lot of things, you're learning, you're growing, but you're not really building anything. So you feel like you are busy, but your skill just stays the same. Learning only becomes skill when you use it, when you practice it. And another reason is random learning. You're learning UI today, tomorrow branding, next week motion, next month AI. So there's no focus. So when your learning is scattered, your improvement will be slow. And the truth is, growth comes from going deep, not touching everything small, small. You would rebuild many things. You will get confused. You will get feedbacks that doesn't even sound sweet. And this is what a lot of people avoid. So they stay where they are just with more information. Also, many designers are not even getting feedback. So if you're always designing alone, never asking for critique, never letting people review your works, you keep repeating the same mistakes. So you need to know that feedback is not an attack, it's direction. And another issue is how people measure growth. Some people say, I've been learning for months, but learning time is not the same as improvement. That's the truth you need to understand. So improvement should show in your work. I mean, in terms of better thinking, better decisions, cleaner designs, clearer designs. So if nothing is changing, then your learning is just in your head. And finally, many people are stuck doing the same level of work. So same type of project, same difficulty level, same mistake. And if the work you are doing does not stretch you, it will not grow you. And here is like the main thing I want you to remember in this answer. Learning and improving are not the same thing. Learning is input, improving is output. So instead of learning, it's important you start building what you've learned. You start applying what you've learned. So the next question goes like this. What separates designers who grow fast from those who stay stuck for years? What separates designers that grow fast from those that stay stuck for years? The honest truth is, it's not talent, it's not even age, and it's not even how long you've been doing design. That's the truth. The difference is how they approach growth. First thing is, designers that grow fast, they take responsibility early. They don't wait till they feel ready, and they don't blame clients, they don't blame the tools, they don't blame the markets. There's no clients, there's no this, there's no that. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I improve next? What can I do next? Designers that stay stuck are always waiting. They're always waiting for motivation, they're always waiting for validation, they're always waiting for the right time to start. But growth starts when you take ownership. Another big difference is how they practice. Designers that grow fast don't just repeat the same work. They challenge themselves and they try other projects. They redesign things and they ask why some things work. And they don't just ask how to do it. They ask, how does this thing work? Doing the same thing over and over again without intention will keep you comfortable. It will not make you get better. Also, designers that grow fast ask for feedbacks. That's one thing you have to learn how to do. They don't hide their works. They don't take correction too personal. They understand that feedbacks help them grow. Designers that stay stuck would always avoid critique. Like seriously. They only want people to praise them. Oh wow, your work is good. But you see feedback, oh my god, never. The truth is, feedback will always shorten their learning curve. And another thing is, fast growing designers build more than they learn. They finish projects, they are so committed to finishing. They learn by doing. You see stock designers, they will continue to watch tutorial from today to tomorrow, every day, but they don't apply anything that they learned. They feel busy, but nothing will always change. Growth follows building, not necessarily consuming. Fast growing designers, they think systems, they build processes, and they document what works. They don't start from scratch every single time. But designers that stay stuck, they will do everything manually and react to everything. But systems is what save energy. In fact, help your growth compound. One more thing is, designers that grow fast are not afraid to be seen. They share their work even when it's not perfect. Share your works. They learn in public. But you see stock designers, they will wait until everything gets perfect. And truth is, they end up waiting forever. And finally, fast growing designers think long term. They stay consistent, they focus on the fundamentals, and they don't jump from one trend to another. They don't move from one place to another place. But you see stock designers switch directions too often and they quit too early. Here's like the real difference. Designers that grow fast treat growth like a system, but designers that stay stuck treat growth like it's something they open and hope will always wait. Systems are what move the needle. So instead of asking questions like why am I not growing, ask questions like what system am I missing in my life that can help me to grow better, or that can help me to move from this version of myself to a better version of myself. So now to the next question, which says, how do you stay consistent when motivation keeps dying? This is actually like a life question. It's a question about life. The truth about life is motivation will always die. And if you're always waiting to feel motivated before you work, consistency will be very, very hard for you, because the designers that stay consistent are not more motivated than you. They don't depend on motivation, because motivation is based on emotional feeling. Some days you feel excited, some days you don't even feel anything at all. So if your consistency is always depending on how you feel, it will not be consistent. It will always break. So what really help you to stay consistent is your knowledge of your identity. I personally, as a person, I know I'm someone that shows up. I'm someone that practices. I'm someone who finishes. I'm a diligent person. I finish things. And that mindset that what help you to even move on the days where you are low. And that thing that help you, making things easy. Many people actually kill their consistency by setting big goals and that put pressure on them. But consistent people do like literally the opposite, because they keep their tasks very small. They reduce their stress and they make starting easy. So sometimes even just opening your laptop is even also to that you need to stop doing this. You need to stop tying your consistency to results, because when you focus on things like social media, like money, clients, your motivation will die very fast, especially when you don't see the results. So instead of focusing on that, why not focus on the process? Focus on showing up, focus on doing the work. Results will come later. And that big thing is what is system. As creative people, you need to be big on system, because on the days when motivation are low, systems are what help you to move. Systems like having a fixed timeline for work on a daily basis, having daily routines, having a to-do list, having someone that can hold you accountable, like an accountability part. So motivation can start something, but systems are what keep it. Another thing we also need to accept as creative people is the fact that consistency is not always exciting. Some days will be boring, some days will feel pointless, some days you won't even see progress. And you need to start saying that as a norm, because growth does not stop just because it feels boring. And another thing we need to do, very important, is to actually redefine the word consistency, because consistency is not doing a lot of things every day. Consistency is doing one thing or something regularly, and even the small effort you put into that thing is so you don't stay consistent by chasing motivation. You stay consistent by building habit and system that work even when there's no motivation. So motivation can be a spark, but consistency is a what? Is a structure. So the next question, which is burnout a discipline problem or a direction problem? Let me ask you something. Have you ever like been tired before, and you know that the reason why you're tired is not because you're lazy, but because you feel heavy, like a lot is just on you? You see, that feeling is where this question came from. For a very long time, I used to think that burnout happened to me because I'm not disciplined enough, or maybe I just really need to push harder, or I need to just wake up early, I need to do more things. But one thing I've come to realize is most people that actually burn out are not necessarily lazy people. They're actually people that work long hours, they show up every day, and they try their best. So if disciplined people are still burning out, then discipline cannot really be the real issue. The truth is, burnout is not necessarily a discipline problem. It's a problem of direction. It's about direction. Burnout most times happen when you are working hard, but you're not sure why, or you don't know what you're doing, or you're always busy, but you're not building anything that really excites you, that you are really feeling good about. You can be doing a lot, but you're not doing something that feels meaningful to you. You're moving, but you don't even know where you're going. And the truth, when your discipline does not have a direction, it's even much very dangerous. I hope you know that you can also be consistent in the wrong thing. So you can be disciplined in something that is actually even draining you. You can be productive and you can still even feel like you're not doing anything. Yes, it's possible. I felt that way before. And that is why some people used to say things like, Omo, I'm tired because I don't even know what I'm doing. And that feeling is, it's not about work. It's a lack of alignment. Now, to be fair, sometimes burnout can also be from poor discipline. When you don't rest well, you don't set boundaries, you don't take care of your body, you say yes to literally everything, you don't know how to say no, you don't manage your time well. But even in those cases, the deeper issue is still clarity, because when your direction is clear, you would naturally start protecting your energy. This is how me I even see things now. When you are aligned, discipline will become easy for you. Yes, work will still be hard, but work will feel more meaningful to you. It will feel more purposeful. It will feel more lively to you. But when you are not aligned, even small tasks will be too heavy for you, and there's no amount of motivation that can save you at that point. Let me end this series with this final question. What does it actually mean to transition properly as a creative person? The truth is, a lot of creatives change what they do, but they don't really transition. They move into new phase of their life, new seasons of their life, but they carry the same mindset, the same habits, the same confusion from their past level or from their past self, and they end up repeating the same struggle. And this time, just in a new level. So to transition properly is not just to change your work; it's to change who you are becoming. And one thing I've learned is this: every real transition requires letting go of something. You don't enter a new season while holding on to everything from your old one. I mean, old mindset, old habits, old excuses, old comfort. Because if nothing ends, nothing really begins. Another part of transitioning properly is moving from from the place of identity to the place of responsibility. Early on in your life or in your career, it's easy to say things like, I'm a designer, I'm a creative person, I'm talented, and I'm very good at what I do. But growth starts when you start to shift your thinking from identifying who you are to taking up responsibility. And that is when you start to say things like, I solve real life problems, I deliver value, I show up consistently, I manage my work, I manage my money, manage my processes, and the likes. Identity feels good, but responsibility is what changes your life. Proper transition also means you stop relying on motivation and you start building discipline and devotion around your life, because you will not always feel inspired and you will not always feel excited. But when you transition properly, you are going to build rhythm around your life. You will show up even on the days when you are low, show up on dry days. You will not wait for the mood to be light. You will trust your process. Another big shift is moving from learning to becoming, because many creatives are always learning, but they are not changing. Proper transition happens when what you learn starts to show in how you think, how you design, how you speak, and even how you make decisions. Because learning is informational, but becoming is transformational. There's also like the business side to this, which is proper transition is when you stop seeing skill as just talent and you start seeing it as a thing of huge value, as a solution, as a system, as something that deserves your respect, that deserve structures and boundaries. That is even when you even start charging right as a person. And finally, proper transition brings direction. You stop doing everything, and you start doing the right thing. You know what you are building towards, and you know what to say no to. You know what season of your life you are currently in. Being busy is not the same thing as being aligned to what you are doing. If I have to redefine what it means to transition as a creative person, I would say this. I would say to transition properly is to become the kind of creative that your next level requires. Not just even you doing better jobs or bigger jobs. It's you becoming a better you, becoming a better version of yourself. If you even look back at everything that we've talked about in this series, things around clarity, consistency, structure, value, direction, discipline, you would notice that transition is not a moment. It's actually a process. And if you are still in that process, that's fine, that's okay. Because the goal is not to arrive overnight. The goal is to move forward with what? With intention. So as this series comes to an end, I want to leave you with this. Don't rush your journey. Don't fake your growth. Don't skip the work. Transition properly and let your growth be real. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. Thank you very much. See you in our next episode.